Welcome back to our show. Today we're talking about busy times, slow times, and what to do with that. My name is Todd, here with my wife, Jen. How's it going, Jen?
Great.
Good.
Hello.
Say hello twice.
I think I
Oh,
said.
no, great, and then hello.
Yeah.
Either way, you are listening to the Hello Hair Pro podcast, and let's just dive into this. So, first, it's the holiday season coming up. Or, no, we're in the holiday season. It's not coming up anymore. I can
It's
stop
here.
saying that probably,
Yeah.
huh?
It's arrived.
I can also move this mic back so I don't have to keep leaning forward. There we go. So, I saw this quote. I don't know when or where, but it was about why most people don't succeed. And it was by Gary Vee. Take them or leave them. Doesn't matter to me. But he said most entrepreneurs are trying to be artists instead of operators.
Okay.
And I thought, what a perfect industry to relate that to.
Mm-hmm.
The hair industry. What are your thoughts on that? That's why I'm kind of pausing here.
I'm trying to understand it actually. So say it again.
Most entrepreneurs are trying to be artists instead of operators. So you want to do all the fancy, flashy, fun stuff, but you don't want to really operate a business.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, because that's not fun.
So in the hair industry, though, everyone wants their own
I know,
business.
but they just want to be the artist in it. Being the operator is, I don't know, it's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, it's not
Mentally,
a joke.
physically, emotionally. Yeah, it's no joke. If
But
you want to run a good business, I mean, it's work.
For sure. And the reason why I brought that quote up is because we're talking about planning and running a business.
Right.
And what do you do?
In a perfect world, if you could balance that quote, or balance that, I am the operator, I do this, but I have my carved out time where I am an artist. So when I'm behind the chair, I'm able to be my artist, but I also understand all the responsibilities that come along with that in order to operate what I'm doing as a business.
Right. So if you've read the E-Myth, you've read it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you listeners, if you've read the E-Myth, you know that there's the technician, which is the person that does the work. It's the person that does whatever the task is. And then there's the entrepreneur who has to focus on those other things.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a way to do both, but you've got to be really, really laser focused. You can't be doing both at the same time, or you see breakdowns and then you have bad ownership, or you have salon owners or shop owners standing on the floor screaming at employees in the middle of a day because they're trying to do hair and people are coming to them for help or for, a problem, the toilet's clogged or the water heater broke, whatever.
Right.
And it's really difficult to do hair and focus on your client and run the business at the same time. So you have to separate it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens when you're in there and you're the owner and you're doing hair and something pops up? You're still responsible.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you have a management layer.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm balancing that all the time in the salon. And I do, and here's the thing. I can't do both things really well. So I'm doing okay at both things. I'm doing my client's hair and I'm trying to be there as an owner or a leader for the staff. And it is exhausting at times, but you do your best to put a smile on your face and try to work through it.
For sure. So this is the holidays, and I think I don't want people to hide behind the fact that they'll be busy during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Or any time.
Yeah.
And I think it helps if you still take actions to grow your business. So I know you're busy behind the chair as a stylist, as an independent stylist, as a salon owner around the holidays. We get busier.
Yeah.
It's normal. But the holidays are going to come to an end.
Right.
And then you're either going to be ahead of where you were heading into them or exactly where you were heading into them. So I don't think it's a time to take your foot off of the gas if you're trying to build and make progress.
Agreed.
Now, before I let you dive in.
I wasn't even going there.
All right, cool. I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that people can't 100% enjoy their holidays. No one is taking away from that. In fact, you should take time around the holidays to spend with your friends and family because that's the recharge. And you should guard that time fiercely.
Mm-hmm.
And you would do that by having boundaries with clients and with staff or work or bosses or whatever, right? But that's a topic for another day. But I just wanted to say that, like, I'm not talking about, I don't want people to be like, oh, he mentioned Gary Vee. Now he's talking about hustling through the holidays. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you're focused on work, do the work. When you're focused outside of work, be present outside of work.
Absolutely. I think that's the key part there is just being present. Be present when you are working and be present when you're not working, whatever you're doing. Show up, arrive at that moment and focus on that.
Mm-hmm. I think another trick too is that you have to stay focused on the details.
Mm-hmm.
So the little things in your game. Don't skip the little stuff because you're busy or you won't stay busy.
Correct. I always, for me personally, when I have more going on, I am more focused and I'm much better at what I'm doing.
Why?
I have no idea. I like to be busy.
So give us an example. What do you mean by that?
So we're coming into, I think for most people, even if you're starting out, you're probably going to see the most amount of clients coming in to your salon or barbershop, wherever, in the next like 6 weeks. There's people that get their hair done once a year and this is their time. So it's, to me, like, I look at it, I'll just even use myself as an example. It's my time to shine. So I'm going to see clients that I may not have seen for a while. So I feel like I level up my client experience. I show up like I'm just excited because people are coming in. It's generally a cheerier time of year. So I really like level up my game. I want the consultation to be better. I want to make sure that client, all of the things that we do for the Hello experience, I feel like I just do them better this time of the year.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on you outside of this time of the year because that's when you should be doing it too.
I know. I totally get it. It's weird. I think probably maybe more people let that stuff slide this time of the year because they are busy and they're like overwhelmed. But for me, I find it more exciting. When there's a lot going on in the salon, I just enjoy that pace, I guess.
Okay. Sounds good.
I think one of the things you can do, though, if you are seeing more clients, and this would help you for that slow time coming up in January, is really focus on even getting good content, because you could get a lot of pictures over the next couple weeks. And it doesn't mean because you take pictures on Tuesday, you have to post them on Tuesday. Save that stuff. Post some, save it for when you are slower so you can like work on different reels and marketing in that sense. And also, it's a great time to talk about referrals. If you're seeing a lot of clients, talk about referrals. Like,
back up for a second. Let's help some people. So
sure.
You don't have to take a picture and immediately post it. So if I serviced 6 clients, I don't have on Wednesday, say, I don't have to post all of those before and afters in the back of the head.
Please don't. Get their face too. It's so funny.
So how would I save that stuff?
You can save it in Instagram. You have probably more advice on that where you would save it. I save it in my phone in my photos.
So I'm just trying to kind of be funny here.
I know.
And we're trying to keep this episode light and short and sweet because it's the holiday season.
Yeah,
and
but
we
what a great
enjoy it too. But
time to get your content up and running.
So there are different things. Of course, you can save stuff right in your phone. If you have a memory card, you can save stuff. We utilize Slack, and we have a social media channel in there, and then we have a photos and videos channel, and people are welcome to drop their stuff in, and then we can pull it to use, or they can keep it there and know it's there. You could save it on a laptop. There's all sorts of places that you could save your stuff. You can definitely work in like a social media app, but I think it's a little limited. I don't personally do it, but I know you can build out your reels, but I think after 7 days they delete or something, or
gotcha.
There's a time frame on it. So just be careful with that.
Yeah, that would suck.
But I think what you're saying is like a huge tip, like get the content that you need for when you're slower. If you're busy now, get all that content. And then, like you said, spread it out, use it later. Also, repurpose stuff, recycle stuff. You don't have to just post what you did today. Mm-hmm. You can totally look at, I don't know, you have a video, you could throw a different song over it and post it again. Like,
right. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's not a big deal. So recycle stuff. Excuse me. Especially if you, you made a point in another podcast. I forget. I'll remember, but sorry, like the doors opening and all sorts of stuff. All right. Guess we'll do the sponsor.
Okay.
This episode is brought to you by Ping Pong Design and Marketing. If you want to love your website or you're looking for more clients to fill your business, reach out to Ping Pong. They are offering our audience a special discount. Visit the show notes, talk to Chris. Back to the show. All right. So it's going to be a short one today.
I was, after we were talking about content, I was going into referrals. I think it's a great time where...
Oh, you stopped talking. So I was like, guess we'll do the sponsor.
Where you can use the clients that you are enjoying seeing them, talk to them about referring their friends to you, that you have openings, that you'd love to see more people like them. It's just a great time for you to really market yourself. You're getting your content, you're building your base, and you want to build it stronger, especially coming into the new year where we don't usually see people as much. Everyone takes a break, I feel. But you can use this time to really, if you're showing up for your day, you don't have to be like, oh, I'm so busy. Like, show up to your day and yes, be present in your busy day, but utilize it to get contact, to talk about getting referrals, to rebooking them for next year. And you can truly kind of build out your next year in this busy time.
For sure. So I want to jump. So actually, I have another quote. And this one is plans are useless, but planning is essential. And that's from Dwight D. Eisenhower. And this is a perfect segue into what I wanted to kind of talk about and wrap up with. But another thing we should consider is planning ahead for the upcoming year, which is pretty much what you just said. Yeah. So if you experience an influx of clients and you find yourself a lot busier around the holidays or whenever, really, because there are other times of the year when it gets slower or busier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you're not mapping that out, if you're not able to identify that, you're in a sort of a weakened position as a business owner. So identify the slower times of your year and plan accordingly. If you know, for example, around when's a slow time, like July 4th is always a slower week there because everyone goes away.
Yep.
Right? Nobody's coming in. Maybe save some money.
Right.
For that time. Like if you know you're slow. Or it's November right now, but let's just, for argument's sake, say that you're coming out of the holidays. Everyone's riding that high. Everyone's spending money, and you're going to get into the low of sort of winter here in the Northeast, where you may get hit with a snow day.
Right.
So
have a snow day fund.
What are you doing? Yeah, have a fund. Or so July 4th is, say, 6.5, 7 months out. What are you doing now to try to not be as slow there?
Right.
Or you can flip it. What are you doing now to make it so you can just take that week off?
Right. Yeah. Plan
right.
Accordingly.
You can do it either way. Like I'm not saying get clients when you're slow, but I'm saying plan for when you're slow.
Correct.
What are you doing about it?
I think. Go ahead.
No, go.
I think the other thing you can utilize right now. So say you're listening to this, you're like, well, I don't have a lot of clients. I only see 1 or 2 people a day. Cool. Build off your 1 or 2 people. Look at what you do have. So what can you offer? Do you do makeup? Do they know that they could come in for their holiday party and have you do their makeup? Can you help them do a mini class with them? Like they're struggling, say, oh, I can never curl my hair like you do. Well, why don't you come in next week? I'll book some time out and I'll teach you how to curl your hair. You can make yourself busier by offering services that a lot of clients don't even realize exist, and they'll pay you for those services. You could also utilize, so when you come into slow times, if you see them coming, so we're coming into after the holidays, it's going to be slow. You could talk to somebody about if they're going on a vacation. Oh, why don't we do a certain treatment on your hair to get you ready for that vacation? Let's book that out. So you can, you just have to, rather than look at the client sitting down to come in for their color service and you put their color on, you go sit in the back room. You need to sit there and
stop doing that, by the way.
Right. So put their color on, sit down with them and market yourself. Talk about the services you offer. Hey, when's your next vacation? What are we doing for your hair before vacation? Let's get that in. Like utilize that time and maximize it to benefit you. But that would mean you talking about all the stuff that you offer and all the stuff that might be something that they reschedule with you or want to book with you now. Maybe we have tinsel at our salon. People love that stuff. Talk about that. Like, oh, you have that holiday party coming on? Why don't we do this to your hair? There are so many ways to take even a small clientele and really reap benefits from that. But you have to use the time that the client's in there to maximize everything that you offer and tell them about it.
That's how we coach our hair pros. So for one, you are a hair pro if you do hair. If you're someone else outside of the industry listening to our podcast, you're
You're a pro in that.
You're not a hair pro, but you're something else pro, right? So a professional will be able to describe what they do to their client. If you can't, you're in trouble.
Right.
So
you just need someone to help you.
As the client, as the customer, when I go into a business, and Jen, you can co-sign this, I just want to be fucking told.
Me too. Yeah.
Just tell me. Like our television died, for example. We went in to the electronics store and we're talking to a guy and he was like, all right, let me show you all the TVs. I don't want to see all the TVs. Here is my scenario. Here's what the room looks like. Here's the amount of light in the room. Here's generally the things that we watch.
Right. And here's our budget.
Here's our budget. What's the best TV for that? Well, you could do this or this. Which one's better? This one's probably better. Great. When can it come?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know. You're the professional. I have a problem. You solve it for me. That's how the transaction works. So as a hair pro, what are some of the other problems that you can be solving for people? And don't become discouraged if everyone's not signing up immediately. If you have an idea for, say, like a blow dry class, or you want to do, you could do like, coming from the gym world and fitness, you could do like one-on-one little mini boot camps. Is that, you mentioned that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if no one seems interested in that, that's fine. Tell them again, though.
Right.
Just keep telling them, because eventually they might be interested. Eventually they might bump into someone that is interested. They might be like, and again, you'll have to tell people that these are options, but you could say, you could send your daughter in for a Christmas gift and I'll work with her to teach her how to style her hair.
Correct. But you
purchase that and
They
whatever.
don't know of that if you don't tell them.
The possibilities are really endless. What else? Did you have something else to say on that one?
Nope.
Okay. So the other day I overheard this conversation and somebody had started a business and then this other person was like, what are they doing about this? Or what are they doing about that? And then a woman said, they'll figure it out. And I was like, what? So I think we need to get out of this just deal with stuff as it happens mindset.
I would agree.
And
just wing it.
Yeah, we'll just we'll just figure it out. So
and that may work for a very short period of time. Some people do get lucky with that. But if you're in it for a long game and you're trying to grow a business and you're trying to grow a team, the winging it mentality, no, you're going to fall flat on your face sooner than later. And then what's your plan? And now you're behind.
Right. And I just, we talk about the foundation stuff aggressively because I don't see how you operate without it. And like you just said, Jen, you can. You can do it. I did it with my gym for years.
Right.
But then once you realize that you're only going to ever get to a certain point, then you have to change. And if you don't start with that, will you survive? Maybe. You could. Most don't.
Right.
What is it? 80% close or whatever in the first 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, whatever it is.
I mean, that was my last salon too. We never had a vision, so we never knew where it was going. And then we did get lucky. We grew really fast and things were going well. But without that vision, the mission, the core values, we literally crashed and burned. And then it fell apart because we weren't prepared for that. And then we were so far behind by the time we needed to be ahead, we couldn't catch up.
And so too many people just accept sort of being slow and hoping to make it through to the busier times. So I think with a tiny amount of planning, they could get ahead and that would allow you to build something that was actually stable.
Agreed. I don't think people look at it that way, but I think that's a really great way to look at it.
Especially like you have the time. There's really not an excuse. You know what I mean? Like you if somebody says that they're slow, they shouldn't be just sitting there waiting like, oh, I'll figure it out. If you're not actively figuring it out, you're not going to figure it out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people sit in this, well, I'm going to do that. Or I saw someone do it, I'm going to do it. So I had asked, we have a few new people that have come on. Like, hey, do you know how to link your stories or whatever to to book with you. And she's
Oh,
like,
yeah, I was there.
yeah,
the other day.
because I'm thinking she doesn't know how to do it. So I'm going to show her. And she's like, yeah, I know how to do that. And I just stared at her and she's like, I need to do that. I'm like, yeah,
Didn't she say like I was going to do it, or I've been thinking about it or
she's seen other people do it and I've been thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, I was thinking you were going to say you didn't know how to do that. But now that you do, your next post better have that link on it, which it did. But like, I think a lot of people get stuck in this thinking about it, like, or it's just going to happen. But if you don't tell people you have openings, or if you don't tell people how to book with you, if you don't make those steps simple, if you don't tell people the services you offer.
That's a big one, because I see a lot of people that are like, and this is going to cause decision fatigue in potential clients or even your current clients. You think you're doing people a favor when you're like, you can call, you can text, you can email, you can go to the website, you can go to the online booking link, you can DM me on Facebook, you can DM me on Instagram. That's too many options.
Right.
You're not helping at that point. You're creating more chaos for already chaotic time of the year. One. And for people that have lives that they perceive as busy, right? So we all live in this sort of perception of we're super busy, even though we've done a podcast on busyness and how it doesn't truly exist when you look at it. But I digress. I just said, I've really been trying to focus on not doing that.
It happens.
But I do think that, what was I saying? I just threw myself way off.
That you have to simplify the process. Don't ask people, don't tell people 12 different ways to book with you.
No, just give me
anything.
Just give me one or two, and one would be best, and just condition people. And
most people know how to book anyway. So you're just the one that you would like them to use, whatever method that is. That's the one you should share.
Another thing I see a lot too is that people, this is a fact, right? It's impossible to think about the negative. So I think we've talked about this before. If I said like, don't think of
immediately you're going to think
an
of
apple. You think of an apple.
Yeah.
So when you're writing, and I see this a lot in a lot of other industries as well as the hair industry, when you write all day long, no DMs, do not DM the book, don't DM, I don't like DM. Guess what people remember? DM, because you keep freaking saying it.
Yeah.
So if you don't want somebody to do something,
leave it out and
tell them what you do want them to do.
That's very important.
Go ahead.
I also think it would be, I've seen this a lot too. Like people will list on a story like their next 8 openings, and I can't even focus on one of your openings when you do that. Like I would just say, I have openings, book now. Like let them decide, kind of find out what you have open, what you can get done. But to me, when you list too many dates, too many services, I can't even focus.
So that's a great point. And we've gone over this with our staff in Slack a few times, right? If you have openings, last minute pop-up appointments, whatever you want to call them, I don't care. Just tell people you have openings and how to reach you.
Right.
Don't even say the date or the time. Here's why. If I'm scrolling through your Instagram story, one, you're lucky because I do not watch stories on Instagram because I do not care. But so joking aside, right? If I see, say you post, I have time for a color at 12:30 on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I just want a haircut, I can't have one at that time.
Right. Or Tuesday doesn't work.
Right.
Or 12:30 doesn't work.
Or whatever. But you're being really specific. So how a consumer's mind works is that they see hair color 12:30 Tuesday. And they're like, well, I wanted a cut on Wednesday. Those times don't work for me. So they move on.
Right. They do nothing, which is not what you're trying to do.
No, you're creating inaction.
Right.
So instead, you just want to remind them that you're there. They already know what you do. And then you want them to remind them, how to book with you.
Right.
That's
Because if you get them on the booking app, link, call to your salon, whatever that is, now they will book something.
Right.
Who cares where they take it? Wherever you have the opening, you're happy to have them.
If, for example, you're like, hey, I have some last minute appointments this week, call the salon, right? That's your call to action. That's great. Now, when the person, exactly what you said, gets on the phone, we're going to book an appointment for them.
Right.
It might not be at Wednesday at 12:30.
Right.
That stuff is irrelevant. So, and it's irrelevant because they can open up your software and they can see all the times and your services. You don't need to tell them information,
Right.
all this stuff. It just creates decision fatigue. The, that was a big right there.
Yeah. it was.
The, last thing I want, do you have anything else on that? Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is the fundamentals. Skipping the fundamentals because you're busy is never a good game plan.
Mm-hmm.
The hair industry is an ego-driven sport,
You don't say.
right? It's an ego sport. It's like when you get into motorcycles. I keep saying I'm aware of it though, so maybe I'm doing better. I'm learning.
I don't even notice it.
It's like when you get into the motorcycle world. It's like, what gear are you going to have? What bike are you going to rent? You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's very ego driven. And I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. I just think people are conscious in this industry of how they come across.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point in people's career, there's this shift. And I've seen it firsthand
Yes.
where people think I'm all set.
Right.
I don't need to do the little things anymore. And we've seen this at our salon. We've seen people do it. And these people aren't with us anymore. But a hair pro, and they wouldn't be at your business either. So
Yeah.
this isn't anything specific on any specific person. It's just when people sort of run their course,
Yeah.
right? At a certain fit, I guess,
Yeah.
for a job.
Every salon has that.
Yeah, and
every
there's
barbershop.
nothing wrong with it. So, but we see like a hair pro, they start to build a bit, and then suddenly the details, like we have reclining chairs at our sinks. We want you to put those up for people if it's comfortable. So they start to skip that. We do with new clients tours.
Mm-hmm.
They start to skip that. We focus on giving solid consultations, not just what are we doing last time? That, like, don't do that in my salon or I'm going to lose my shit. But anyways, those are the things that you
they're
need to
skipping
continue.
the really important details.
Yes. And when you're getting a little busy, what do you think got you there?
All of those little details.
Those fundamentals. Yeah. You need the reps, and you're not all set. If you think I'm all set, you're not all set.
Yeah.
Unless you can do those things without thinking, then you're all set. Then you can move on to something else. But if you can't remember to put somebody's feet up at a sink or whatever your salon looks like or your shop, like maybe, I don't know, maybe when people come in, you offer them a mint, like whatever the little detail is, right? You offer them a coffee.
It needs to be consistent.
You have to
all
do
the
it
time.
because those little times so you live in your head, you're the main character, but your clients are the main character in their movie.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come in on that random Wednesday at 12:30 for that color appointment that you told them about last minute, right? They might want a coffee that time, even though they always say no. Yeah. So you have to offer.
And I think too, if you're skipping on these details that you always used to do and you're like, oh, I stopped doing that. Like I see people even like, they're like, did you want it blow dried today? Like, when you say it like that,
you're a hair pro.
When you say that, they're going to think about that and be like, she doesn't want to blow dry my hair. It should be like, you're just doing it. Like, just start blow drying their hair. Just make the experience amazing for them. If they were on a time crunch and had to go, whatever. But if you're skipping these details, if you're like, oh, I haven't been arriving to my clients every day, doing the best that I can do. Arriving. Like, you arrive at their appointment.
Showing up?
Sure, whatever.
That's a different way of saying it.
Yeah, arriving.
All right, that's cool. I like it.
If you're not arriving at your best self and you're like
showing up as your best self.
Sure. I like the word arriving.
All right. I like
anyway,
it
let
too.
me finish my thought.
Whatever.
If you're not and you're like, oh, why? I want you to ask yourself, why are you not? Are you booking yourself so tight that you're not able to give everybody the best service? Are you exhausted because you're taking on extra clients? Like, that's a you problem, and you should reevaluate that quickly because you will lose clients quickly if they notice you're not doing that stuff.
Right.
And if you're not, like, you just sit back, take a day. Maybe you're like, you know what? I need a day off. Do that. Whatever you got to do to get yourself back to the person that helped you build to where you are, to offer everything that gives the experience that you want.
Yeah, I agree with everything, and I think it's just your client. You're conditioning your clients to a certain expectation to a certain level of service, and then you're now at a point where you think you're good enough to remove those things, and they'll just stay with you.
Or you didn't even notice until you listened to this. You were like, I forgot I'm not even doing that stuff. Why? You might not have even realized it. Like, things happen. You probably slowly stopped doing this. And then we just kind of called you out and you're like, whoa, that's me. I need to step up my game.
Yeah. I have an example. So I have a few clients that they don't want their eyebrows cleaned up. So I always offer. So this one client he'll say every single time, no, thank you. And then I've reminded him, like, I'm still going to ask. And he goes, I know, I like it. I know you're doing your job.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say no every time. It's totally cool. It takes 1 second. It's not annoying.
Right.
And then I have another client that was no, thank you. Nope. You can stop asking. Nope. I'm never going to get that. You know what? I couldn't make it to the appointment. Could you actually clean them up for me? Because I ask every single freaking time. Like, I don't let up because somebody says something.
Right.
Because you never know. Like, and it's all the little details. Like, take someone's coat, hang it in your coat closet. Don't let them just like throw it on the floor or
be like, oh, the coat closet's over there. You can hang it up.
No, don't do that. Just be a professional.
Those little details really add up to a big impact.
Agreed. All right. So that's all I have. I wanted to keep this short. Do you have anything else?
Nope. No. Can't say I do.
Well, I guess let's get out of here then, okay?
All right. Have a great day.
So what should people do? That's their call to action? Yeah. Have a great day.
They should have a great day. That's what they should do.
Fuck it. It's the holidays. I don't even care if you get on our email list.
I think be aware during this busy time that you can grow and keep next year even busier and keep doing cool stuff.
Bye.